2 years ago, I saw a commercial for AION Recovery. I picked up the phone and called. I was in treatment the same day.
My loved one struggled with drugs and alcohol for many years, and we didn't know where to turn to for help. I saw the commercial for AION Recovery and quickly called. They got my loved one into treatment the same day. My family is forever grateful to AION Recovery.
I was addicted to heroin for years and I just couldn't take it anymore. One day I saw this commercial for AION Recovery and I picked up the phone and called. My life changed right away. AION Recovery got me the help I deserved.
Are you or someone you love struggling with drug or alcohol abuse? If so, pick up the phone and call AION Recovery now. AION Recovery has a team of professional admission advisors that understand addiction and have been where you are. Don't let another minute go by. You don't have to struggle anymore. There is help with AION Recovery. Call the number on your screen and get help now.
In this video, we'll explore some of the signs you may be an alcoholic and what to do about it. Signs you may be an alcoholic. Millions of Americans are afflicted by alcoholism and alcohol abuse. According to the National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence, alcoholism is the country's third leading cause of death related to lifestyle choices. With 17.6 million, or 1 in 12 U.S. adults suffering from addiction and dependence, alcohol tops all other addictive substances in terms of its negative impacts. Alcoholics who could benefit from acquiring help must identify their need first. Here are some obvious signs that let you know you might be an alcoholic who requires expert support. Difficult to manage. AION Recovery recognizes many different alcohol abuse symptoms that are related to drinking behaviors and your control over them. For instance, if you devote a lot of time to drinking, obtaining alcohol, or recovering from side effects like hangovers, you could have a problem. In some extreme cases, you'll find it difficult to drink less than you normally do or fail to give up drinking completely. Physical and mental effects. Alcoholics often go through withdrawal when they give up drinking. Signs and symptoms of such conditions can consist of shaking, sweating, and feelings of nausea. You may also deal with challenges like uneven heartbeats, hallucinations, or even seizures. Some people face mental symptoms like anxiety, distraction, mood swings, nightmares, or depression. Withdrawal occurs when you stop or dramatically cut back after you've been using alcohol for a prolonged period or in copious quantities. Created bad habits. Some alcohol abusers take these practices further and enter damaging, self-perpetuating patterns. You may even stop going to work, drop out of class, or quit trying to get along with others because you'd rather go out drinking. The more you drink, the more difficult it is to break free of these habits. You and a friend could both drink the same amount during a night out with each other, but you might find it more difficult to recover the next day, have trouble focusing on your work, or get into scuffles with your significant other. Impacts overall life. It's important to remember that alcoholism exists along a spectrum. Drinking behaviors that don't impact other people negatively may have impacts on you. Not all indications of alcoholism are quite as evident as going through withdrawal or having difficulty quitting. Many individuals who display alcoholic behaviors normalize them because they seem socially appropriate. Risky drinking. Drinking while you're swimming, participating in sports, or executing other hazardous tasks is obviously a bad idea. But this doesn't stop many alcoholics. Think about whether your emphasis on risky drinking is related to mere individual preference or a more extreme dependency. Getting worse. Abusing alcohol makes it far more difficult to take pleasure in drinking. The more your body becomes accustomed to consuming alcohol or any other drug, the more tolerance you'll develop to that substance. In other words, you won't be able to get the same sensation or effects from drinking unless you raise the amount that you drink. Craving alcohol. If you find yourself constantly fighting cravings, then it's a safe bet that you have an alcohol problem. Having to regularly take steps to avoid situations that may trigger you, remind yourself not to drink, or sidetrack yourself from your urges are also signs of dependency. Specialists say that external and internal circumstances or events can trigger cravings. For instance, you may suddenly produce an externally triggered craving when you're in a high-risk situation that you normally associate with drinking, such as a bar or party. Internal triggers often relate to your emotional state, stress level, or sense of physical wellness. These are just some signs of alcoholism, and each person's journey is unique. Don't be afraid to seek aid if you spend too much money on alcohol or need to drink just to feel normal. Dealing with alcoholism is nothing to be embarrassed of, but it's up to you to make an adaptation and pursue a healthier lifestyle. Learn more by talking to one of our professionals or checking out our other blogs today. If you or a loved one is struggling with an alcohol addiction, pick up the phone and call AION Recovery today and get help now. 888-811-2879. That's 888-811-2879. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
I'm at AION Recovery today with Jason Levy, the Director of Admissions. Jason, thank you so much for joining me. You've been here, you said, 3 years as the Director of Admissions. Tell me a little bit about what that admissions process looks like here at AION.
Well, basically what we do here at AION Recovery is we field inbound calls from potential clients who are seeking help for substance abuse and co-occurring disorders. We ask a variety of questions, including usage history, previous attempts at getting sober, or previous treatment experiences. We also look at mental health disorders, legal issues, medical issues, a lot of different factors that play into us putting together an individualized treatment plan by the clinical team. We try to encourage family support and get the clients' families on the phone so we can explain the treatment process to them as well. We try to go from initial call to actual admission to the program in under 24 hours.
What's your biggest piece of advice before someone goes through the admissions process here at AION?
Understand the fact that you're coming to a place where you're going to have some support that you may never have had before, and that surrendering and truly accepting the fact that you're here and you're going to make the best of it while you're here so that you never have to come back again.
Jason, thank you so much for your time. If you know someone who may be suffering from an opioid dependence or an addiction, you can learn more about AION Recovery at aionrecovery.com.
I actually thought my son had hit rock bottom a number of times.
Somehow she got into Oxycontins for the pain.
Went from being experimentation to a lifestyle pretty young.
I lost touch with who I really was, the guy that wanted to be the best.
I felt like I put myself and everybody that I knew in danger.
This is my son, Matthew. He died June 25th, 2001, of a heroin overdose.
Alcoholism and addiction are happening all around us, and the more we keep it a secret, the more power we give it.
Only by talking to people was I able to really open up and be honest about what was going on in my home.
And in letting people know, you realize that there's a whole world out there of people with the same problem.
My name is Art. I'm 22 years sober. I'm a recovering addict.
My name is Jane. I have 3 sons. They've all struggled with chemical dependency.
My daughter is recovering now. Thank God.
There is hope. Recovery is possible.
I'm at AION Recovery with Ricky Santiago, the clinical director here. Ricky, thank you so much for joining me. First of all, tell me a little bit about AION's program and what makes it so unique.
The first way I would answer you is to tell you that the people are really what make the program unique. We really have assembled a dream team, all the way from the behavioral health techs, the therapists, case managers, facilitators, and medical team. And we have a singular mission, which drives all of our work, is really about bringing healing and light to hurting people.
They go through the admissions process and then they start the program. What can people expect?
Our idea is when people come into our facility that they feel like this is their home and that they're welcome here. And we've created healing spaces, and the residences are very comfortable, and they're made to feel like a home versus a hospital setting. And in terms of the clinical program, it's really a wide range of types of activities to be involved in, such as adventure therapy. So a client can certainly expect that they're going to be doing things, kayaking and snorkeling, hiking. We've designed our program to really lift them up. And it's my hope that after spending time with us, they'll feel better about themselves, because being outside and being in nature, being out in the Florida sun, all of those things are healing.
Ricky, thank you so much for joining me. If you know someone who may be struggling with an opioid dependency or any other addiction, you can find out more about AION Recovery at aionrecovery.com.
Heroin is a highly addictive drug that's strong enough to stop the body from breathing within 1 to 3 hours of ingestion. While this is serious on its own, imagine the effects of combining the drug with a synthetic opioid that's even more powerful. Fentanyl, an anesthesia drug up to 100 times more intense than morphine, is now a popular additive for diamorphine, the scientific name for heroin. This lethal concoction has led to a surge in overdose-related deaths in the US. Let's review this a little closer. A deadly level of potency. Fentanyl was first developed as a synthetic anesthetic alternative to morphine in the late 1950s. Much like diamorphine, this chemical compound was designed to quickly latch onto the brain's opioid receptor. However, it's between 30 and 50 times stronger than diamorphine. When administered by trained physicians in a medical setting, the drug can be a safe and incredibly effective pain reliever. In the hands of a clandestine drug maker, this substance provides a dangerous way to increase the potency of diluted opiates. Common street names for the fentanyl heroin cocktail include China White, Apache, Goodfella, TNT, and King Ivory, making a dirty substance dirtier. Illegal synthetic opioids are generally manufactured in other countries such as Mexico and China, and then smuggled into the US. Since illicit manufacturers don't follow medical standards, their batches can be impure and chemically unpredictable. In addition, not all dealers use exact measurements when lacing their supplies. This means that many fentanyl-laced opioids aren't properly mixed to stay below overdose levels. One of the most common and deadly fentanyl-based analogs is carfentanil, a substance used commercially to sedate large animals. It only takes 2 milligrams of carfentanil to tranquilize a 2,000-pound African elephant. The killer additive is not always evident. Identifying a fentanyl-laced batch of diamorphine isn't always easy for officials or users. In many cases, buyers are unaware that they're getting a killer cocktail. This could lead to a deadly aftermath if the user takes a normal dose of the more potent mixture. While roughly 30 milligrams of diamorphine could trigger a lethal overdose, it only takes 3 milligrams of carfentanil to kill an average-sized adult. Diamorphine is usually sold on the street as a yellowish powder. When mixed with a synthetic opioid, it will have an appearance that's a bit whiter. To an unsuspecting eye, however, the two variants often look identical. The common symptoms of using fentanyl-laced diamorphine include dry mouth, dizziness, difficulty walking, confusion, shaking, and slurred speech. Treating an overdose victim of fentanyl-laced opioids. Most people became aware of the dangerous effects of fentanyl following the death of music icon Prince in April 2016. According to reports, the superstar died of an accidental overdose after taking mislabeled pills that contained the synthetic opioid. The sudden nature of Prince's death was a tragic example of how quickly this drug can act. When mixed with heroin or alcohol, a synthetic opioid overdose is more likely. Overdose victims may exhibit symptoms such as excessive drowsiness, slowed heart rate, fainting spells, and pinpoint pupils. Such signs may be followed by a pale face or blue-colored fingernails. If a user shows any such symptoms, it's important to contact emergency responders immediately. Doctors will administer a rescue shot of the drug naloxone to bring a patient back from an overdose. This opioid antagonist, which goes by the brand name of Narcan and Evzio, can actually alleviate central nervous system depression and induce breathing within minutes. Since synthetic opioids can be so potent, fentanyl-related overdoses often require multiple shots of naloxone. In some communities hit especially hard by addiction, clinics have actually had shortages of the antidote. While naloxone can be effective, it's only a short-term response. Overdose victims will continue down a self-destructive road of addiction until they seek help. For most users, substance abuse treatment is the answer. If you or a loved one is struggling with a heroin addiction, pick up the phone and call AION Recovery today and get help now. 888-811-2879.
I was addicted to heroin.
My loved one struggled with drugs and alcohol for many years, and we didn't know where to turn to for help. I saw the commercial for AION Recovery and quickly called. AION Recovery got my loved one into treatment the same day.
I was addicted to crack cocaine.
Before I knew it, I was addicted to heroin. I was completely powerless. I lost interest in the things I loved. I stole from my family, the people that loved me the most. I was sent to some of the best treatment centers across the country, but never dealt with my underlying issues that were causing me to constantly relapse.
Are you or someone you love struggling with drug or alcohol abuse? If so, pick up the phone and call AION Recovery now. AION Recovery has a team of professional admission advisors that understand addiction and have been where you are. Don't let another minute go by. You don't have to struggle anymore. There's help with AION Recovery. Call the number on your screen and get help now.